This is an introductory interview with Gerry Shepherd. There are 4 more interviews with Gerry, each one delving into specific situations he experienced while serving in World War II and the Korean War. Gerry will reveal what he actually felt and personally witnessed during these moments. For now, it's over to Deborah Marr and Gerry Shepherd. I'm Dennis Gist, and smooth sailing to all.
We are privileged to be in the presence of a remarkable gentleman who has lived a full life in the Navy with many experiences he wishes to share with us. Welcome, Gerry Shepherd.
Thank you, Deborah.
Now, Gerry, you are a local. Just tell me a little bit about where you live and a little bit about your past with being a retired secondary school teacher.
Well, I was born in Brighton, Victoria, and I was born during just before the Great Depression, and upon leaving the Navy, I had a house built in East Bentley, and then I moved to Dramana in Victoria on the Mornington Peninsula, and that's where I am still now. I've been now on the Mornington Peninsula for about 30 years.
And you're only 14 years old, I believe, when
Yes.
you wanted to join the Sea Cadets. So just tell us a little bit about that experience.
Well, I've always been very keen on the sea, and the Navy always felt as if that's the place I should be.
Okay, so then you go on and you went on a warship. Could you talk about the warship that you actually went on? You were drafted on the HMAS Barton, is that correct?
Yes. I was drafted onto a destroyer, a British designed destroyer. There were 3 destroyers built in World War II, the first one being HMAS Arunta, the second one HMAS Warramunga, and the third one HMAS Bataan. So the 3 of them were built in Cockatoo Island in Sydney Harbour.
There's a lot of the voyaging that you did. You actually then went to Japan, didn't you? So
yes.
What happened over there?
Well, in the first instance, we sailed to Manila in the Philippines, the capital of the Philippines, and the Japanese had just been pushed out of the Philippines, and when we went ashore we had to have army water bottles because they thought the Japanese had infiltrated the water supply with typhoid. So we had to go ashore with army water bottles to drink from, but all that turned out to be a farce. The Japanese never doctored with the water. Then the 2 atomic bombs being dropped on Japan, they sent 2 envoys to Manila when we were there to discuss the terms of surrender, and upon the agreements that they would surrender, we sailed for Tokyo Bay, arriving there 2 days before the surrender.
And what was that experience like? What do you remember of that experience?
To be in Tokyo Bay with all ships from all nations, it was absolutely surreal. It was unbelievable to be there for the Japanese surrender. It felt as if one's lungs were going to burst with pride. World War II was the largest war the world had ever seen.
On your way home, you had to pick up some prisoners of war. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, before when the surrender was signed, we were anchored close to the USS Missouri. All the other Australian ships that were in Tokyo Bay, they went home a couple of days after the surrender, whilst we had to stay in Japan for 3 months, and we sailed around Japan picking up our prisoners of war. Oh, what a bad way they were in. Their ribs poking out. It really affected you, realising you were part of something so important within the whole world. It affected you.
Yes, and you made history, and to this date
Yes.
you still remember it
To
very
be a part
vividly.
of history, yes.
That's right. So just two more quick things, Gerry, is now I believe that you built a model ship that is now displayed in Canberra. Could you quickly tell us about the name of the ship and where it's displayed?
Well, it was my HMAS Bataan, the tribal class destroyer that I served on. I got the Admiralty plans that the ship was built by, the plans, and I enrolled at the RMIT in a sort of a hobby class of a night, because they had a lot of machinery to make the model that I never had. So I would go to the RMIT continuously for months making the model, and I had it at home for approximately 30 years, and a naval officer came to my home and said, "That belongs in the Navy's Sea Power Centre in Canberra.
Wonderful.
Would you let us take it?" I said, "Go for it."
Okay, so you've taken it's up there for everybody to see, and there's a
Yes.
whole story around that.
They were very pleased to have it because it was the only item that they had in the whole Sea Power Centre, which is virtually a museum. It was the only item from the Korean War.
Well, thank you so much, Gerry. It's been a pleasure to talk to you today. I know that there was a lot of other stories, but I'm glad that you're still here to be able to share this history with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah.